I didn't do much. I was a front desk. What I did was answering phone call, arranging meeting rooms, simple task, and I was playing Pinterest many times in the past. Sorry to my old company, but I did my job well. But yeah, I was playing Pinterest, and then I saw all these travel photos, right? I saw these travel blogs, and then this travel website, and then I was thinking there's much more than where I am right now, and I don't want to spend my whole life sitting in the office, especially in Jakarta. The traffic is so terrible. Maybe that's the right word. Yeah, the traffic is so terrible and heavy. Yeah, the traffic is super heavy. So I was saying to myself, come on, you are able to see more than where you are right now. I was working for 2 years for this company, and I traveled a lot to United States, Europe, you name it. I traveled to places I've never imagined I will be. But then, within those 2 years, I got what I want, but I also missing a lot. I'm missing birthdays, births, weddings. And I remember I was crying one time in my hotel room because I felt so lonely. So I wasn't realizing that it's also affecting my mental health. I just learned that this job is not about travel. It's not just about traveling. It means more than that, and you have to fight to get what you want in order to travel. So that's how I started to meditate. That's how I started to get into yoga. And I tried all things to make me feel better because I thought traveling could make me feel better, but it was so lonely. I have curvature on my spine, so it's not straight. And I was wearing heels when I work as a flight attendant, and I was having poor body awareness. I wasn't paying attention to my body because I was too much looking outside but not inside me. Yeah, and then I started to feel discomfort on my lower back, and that's when I got the beginning of my lower back pain. And then I got into Pilates because people recommend me to do it. So then I was into Pilates, and then I continued to travel. But then people come to me and ask, what's the difference between Pilates and yoga? And then I was like, oh, I couldn't answer that because I don't really know about yoga itself. So after my Pilates course, teaching Pilates, and then it starts with curiosity, actually. Oh, maybe, why not? Trying to also learn yoga deeper. Exercise that is designed for Pilates is for you to optimize the muscles you have in your body for daily use. For example, to walk, to run, right? But then you go into yoga and these fancy poses that they post on Instagram. In the beginning, I was like, with my Pilates mindset, I was like, what is this for? We don't really need it, right? But then I get curious, of course, and then I was also thinking, oh, how come these people can do it? And so the beginning of my yoga journey, when I train and I go to yoga studios here in Canggu, and I realized it's much more than just physical exercise. At the end of the yoga class, I get goosebumps. At the end of the yoga class, when we do savasana, when we end it, I feel different, I feel light. And I don't get that when I do Pilates. So I was amazed, but with how my body can go through its limit through yoga. Gitu. So when I do yoga, I give surprise to myself. Actually, I give surprise to myself on, actually I'm able to do this way. I'm actually able to be more than what I thought I couldn't, because everything starts with your mind, right? And then once you go out from yoga and back to your daily life, and you're kind of like doing your daily things, working, mental stress, deadlines, this and that, and then I go back to yoga again, and it seems like everything going on outside yoga, the fighting things that I mentioned before, are okay because I have yoga. You know what I mean? Like, yoga helps me get through my daily life. Basically, what's going on around you, it's still happening, but you're just within you. And that's how I understand this concept through yoga. So every cell in my body, the blood that is flowing, my heartbeat, will I ever think about it if I don't do yoga? No. Like, those things are happening when I do yoga. So when I do my movement, my asana, my practice, I can really pay attention to the tip of my fingers, the sound of my breath, the movement itself when I close my eyes, when I open my eyes. And the more you pay attention to yourself, the more you kind of like healing what's inside you, the more you release because, hey, you're loving yourself, you're giving attention, you're caring, you're loving yourself at that very present moment through yoga. When I was younger, as a kid, I got lucky that my parents always bring me, not always, maybe once a year, bring me to a holiday in Bali. And what I did was I spent like 4 hours on the sea, minimum. So usually my mom just like, of course, under a big umbrella with a big hat, doesn't want to get touched by the sun. I was like, I don't care. I just love the element of the sea itself. It gives me calmness. And then I grew up, high school, I go back here with my friends. In college, I go back here with my friends. And then I was like, there's always something that when I arrive at the airport that makes me feel like, oh, I belong here. I don't know how to describe that even. Like, it's just maybe the temperature or the elements that Bali have, the nature, because it has mountains. It's like the whole package here. And I knew since that I want to move here. Like I said before, that I couldn't describe it. I know I always belong here, even though I grew up and born, raised in Jakarta, thinking that there's always a small part of Jakarta in my heart, of course. I will always love that city, but to live there for a long term, it wouldn't be ideal for me. And here, I realized that I become more healthy because of the lifestyle itself that Bali creates. Especially, I really try to pay more attention to the environment. So I've been reducing plastics. I'm not using straw anymore. I'm using the bamboo straw and the aluminum. I try to bring my own cutleries, reducing plastic bags, and this is just the right place to start. And I really hope that it will grow. It will expand to other islands. It was sunset. I was surfing in Batu Bolong in front of Old Man's. Okay, not to think about some surfer will watch this and say, oh my gosh, she's surfing in Batu Bolong, because there's a lot of people, like a lot of people. But at that time, I was just sitting, there are less waves coming. I was with my friends sitting on the board and it was sunset. The sunset was so beautiful. It was cotton candy sky and I can hear the reggae music from the beach. And then it's one of my favorite songs. It was Mati Syahu, the song called One Day. Well, basically the song explained about one day everything will change for better. So I was just looking at the sunset, sitting on my board, and that's when, do you ever ask yourself when was the last time you were being grateful? That's the moment. That's when I was like really thanks the universe that, oh my God, I'm still alive and I can experience this very beautiful moment.